Hey guys, I'm Saurabh, and in this video I will be talking about the Galaxy S10 camera. In this video I will be sharing things that I love about the Galaxy S10 camera and also certain things that I wish Samsung could have improved. If you are not a part of this family, make sure you subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon so that every time I upload a new content, you guys get notified. Without wasting any more time, let's get started. So talking about the hardware, the S10 has three cameras: a normal camera, a telephoto camera and a wide-angle camera. The normal camera has a dual aperture 1.5 and 2.4. This is same as the S9, and the f1.5 really comes handy in low light situations. The f2.4 is great when you don't want that wider aperture and you want slightly sharper images. So the normal camera and the telephoto camera is not much of an improvement. One thing I love about the S10 which I missed in the S9 is the wide-angle camera. The wide-angle camera is a fixed aperture camera, but it gives 123-degree angle of view. If you don't understand the numbers, just see the images right now. It's not captured with a GoPro or any wide-angle lens, it's captured with the wide-angle lens built in the S10. And the wide-angle shots really makes a hell lot of a difference. I have been shooting with the S10 for the last week and I have been using the wide-angle camera for 90% of the shots. I myself am a landscape photographer, and anyone who is interested in landscape or street photography or any genre that requires a wide-angle lens, this smartphone is going to be a great option. A lot of smartphones have wide-angle lenses, but the quality is not the same as the normal lens. This time Samsung has managed to give a very good quality wide-angle lens and you are not getting low quality images. It's a 16 megapixel wide-angle camera and the details, the sharpness is very similar to the normal lens. Now talking about the image quality, let's talk about the colors. Now Samsung is known for slightly saturated colors. If you compare the images shot with Pixel, iPhone and Samsung, the color saturation will be slightly more on the Samsung side. But now the saturation has decreased. It's still more than the Pixel and the iPhone, but when you compare the earlier Samsung phones, the saturation is slightly less and the images look much more natural. The dynamic range is great. It's slightly better than the S9. It contains good amount of details in shadows, also maintaining the highlights at the same time. The images coming out of S10 are very sharp, very vibrant, and overall the image quality is really good. Talking about the front camera, the S10 has a single front camera, but the S10 Plus has a dual front camera. Those are not two different cameras actually. The second one is a 8 megapixel depth sensor for getting better live focus images. I would have liked a single camera because I'm not much into shooting live focus images and I don't think it makes much difference, but still people who are interested in those portrait mode selfie images, this might be slightly a better option. Now the normal camera, as I said before, has a dual aperture of 1.5 and 2.4. When I'm shooting in low light conditions, because I'm using that 1.5 wider aperture, I don't have to increase the ISO much, and that gives me good clean shots even in low light. One major difference in the portrait mode of the S10 is that it uses the normal lens for the portrait images and not the telephoto lens like the S9 used to do. So the advantage is that you get good low light performance. Whenever you use portrait mode in low light, you might have seen the image quality is not that good. And that is because of the smaller aperture and a low quality telephoto lens. But since the S10 is using the normal lens which has a wider aperture and it's a better quality lens, the portrait images look really good. The edge detection is slightly better. I'm not a big fan of portrait images, but still, if you're a fan of it, you're going to love this camera. Now one thing I wish Samsung could have improved is the camera application. So you have professional mode, and as a photographer I love using professional mode. I love to have the control over my aperture, shutter speed and ISO, and there is no issue with the professional mode. The issue is you do not get the option of using wide angle camera and telephoto camera when you're using professional mode. For me as a landscape photographer, I am going to use the wide angle lens more than I am going to use the normal and the telephoto lens. And if I don't get the option of shooting in pro mode and saving raw files from the wide angle camera, what's the use of having a wide angle camera? So Samsung, if you are targeting serious photographers, which I think you are because you are including 3 cameras, you have to make this software update as soon as possible. You have to give the users the flexibility of using all the 3 lenses and pro mode simultaneously. So that was all about photography. In terms of photography, it's a great camera. The flexibility you get because of the wide angle, the normal and the telephoto camera is just amazing. And I'm very sure if you are into wide angle lenses, you are going to love this camera for sure. Now talking about the video part, the Samsung S10 can shoot 4K 60 FPS, 4K 30 FPS, 1080p 240 FPS, and there are a lot of options. The 4K 60 FPS and 30 FPS look very amazing. Those are sharp and you get beautiful dynamic range. You can also use the wide angle and the telephoto lens for shooting videos. You can't shoot 4K 60 FPS, you get the 4K 30 FPS option, but still the kind of videos you can shoot with this mobile phone, if you show it to other people, they won't be able to understand that it is shot with a DSLR and a wide angle lens or just a mobile phone. The video is that good looking. The Samsung S10 can also shoot HDR10 plus videos. Now currently I don't have the sample to show you because it's currently in beta mode, but I'm very excited to see what kind of flexibilities do I get with it. Because when you're shooting in HDR mode, you're going to get much more flexibility in color grading. And getting a mobile phone that is this slim with a wide angle lens and with more flexibility in color grading, I think it's going to be a huge benefit for all the cinematographers out there. Talking about the slow motion videos, Samsung again went with 1080p 240 FPS. Now, I'm not saying that the 1080p 240 FPS doesn't look good, but I would have wished the option of shooting in 120 FPS and getting a slightly better looking 1080p. Nonetheless, the 240 FPS still looks good. You can also shoot in 960 FPS, and earlier the S9 can shoot for 0.2 seconds. Now you have 0.4 seconds of 960 FPS. But again, the video quality is not that good here. One new feature that the S10 family has is super steady video. It's a kind of a stabilization, and this was not present in the early Samsung phones. So now the videos you're seeing is shot with the S9, which doesn't have super steady, and with the S10 with the super steady on, and you can see there is difference. It's good to have that super steady when you're shooting handheld videos. So in terms of videos, I have no complaints. I wish the HDR10 Plus would not be in beta mode, but that would be fixed in an update very soon. And I wish we could have shot 4K 60 FPS even with a wide angle camera. So that was it from this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed the review and I hope you got to know more about the S10 camera. If you have any questions, make sure to comment them down. I'll try my best to answer them. I hope this video helped you, and if you enjoyed it, press the like button. If you loved it, and again, if you're not part of this family, make sure you subscribe to that channel. I will talk to you guys in the next one. Bye.